All right, so you have notes. The other thing I'm going to give you is a little kind of a blank worksheet. We're going to fill out as we go. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. Not that much. Okay. This chapter talks about the next two phyla. So we started with Porifera, which are our simplest organisms, which were what? Sponges. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
After sponges, we talked about ctenophores and cnidarians, which are what kind of animals? Do you remember ctenophores and cnidarians? Jellyfish and the comb jellies. After that, we got into the worms, right? Platyhelminthes and nematodes. Platyhelminthes were the flatworms. Nematodes were the roundworms, most of which are parasitic. And we talked just briefly about rotifers, which are a pretty small group, and so we didn't spend much time on them. So as we increase in complexity, we're getting to mollusks or mollusca and annelida, or which are annelids, and those are your common worms, okay? So we're going to start with mollusks. One of the main characteristics of mollusks, or the first thing we're going to talk about, are the fact that they are coelomates. Now, in the last chapter, we talked about pseudocoelomates and acoelomates. So the first thing I want you to put in your cool little box up here on top, one of those titles is going to be acoelomate, one is going to be pseudocoelomate, one is going to be coelomate. And I'll put those three words up on the board here for you.
So that's an acoelomate.
Acoelomate, yes. Just has an A in front. Pseudo. I guess that one. Ew. Coelomate. And coelomate. I'll get a darker marker. Does anybody remember what the acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, coelomate refers to?
The body cavity.
The germ layer specifically, but body cavities is where we're going. Okay. So what are our three germ layers?
Ectoderm, mesoderm,
Good job. Ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, or in any order that you want. So acoelomates have no body cavity, so they are flat, generally. Okay, this is my what layer?
Ectoderm.
It's the outside one. Sorry, I should have maybe made that a little clearer. Ectoderm. Okay. If you want markers or colored pencils, they're over against the wall, or highlighters or whatever. And then I have the internal layer, which is the what? Endoderm. Okay. And between the two layers, the only one that's left is the mesoderm. And in an acoelomate, that mesoderm fills that whole cavity. Okay. So pseudocoelomates, what does pseudo refer to? Does anybody remember?
Not the flat body with no. I don't know. She just
Pseudo,
explained it to
pseudo
Brittany.
the word part. Does anybody know what?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Right, sort of. Okay? So, pseudocoelomates have a sort of body cavity. Okay? Still have all three layers. So, this is the ectoderm. They will be round mostly, at least as far as we've talked about. Okay? So, these were things like your nematodes, your roundworms. Now, not every pseudocoelomate is perfectly round, but that's the way it works. It's the easiest way to show it. Ectoderm on the outside. Still have the endoderm on the inside. Okay. But in this case, what we have happen with the mesoderm is that it just kind of lines that body cavity on one side. So it just lines the ectoderm. So then we do have this open body cavity in the middle that's only lined by the mesoderm on one side. So our acoelomates were things like flatworms. You don't have to put this in your box, but you can if you want to. This was things like roundworms. And our example for coelomates are mollusks, or if you want to go with the worm thing, this is earthworm. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But as we get more complex, those germ layers had to change. Pretty much everything we deal with from here on out is going to be a coelomate, a true coelomate. Okay? So in a true coelomate, again, not all true coelomates are round, but generally start round. You guys even start out looking like a worm. Believe me, I have ultrasound pictures to prove it.
Child inside of you?
So, and if you lay like on, if you get an MRI, your picture comes out looking sort of round, right? And they lay you down on the table and they take pictures of your body as you go along. You come out looking kind of round, and so this is looking at you like from head to toe. Okay? Most of our organisms from here on out, this is like laying them flat out and looking at them from head to toe, if we could look at the germ layers. So again, we have the ectoderm. And the endoderm, same as we've had the whole time. So they really don't make or break the coelomate, acoelomate, pseudocoelomate thing. The difference comes in on the mesoderm. So here what we have is a mesoderm lines the ectoderm again. Okay? But it also connects and covers the ectoderm or the endoderm. And it doesn't have to just connect in two places. Sometimes it connects in more. Just two is generally how we show it, because it's simple. So you don't have to put this other set of lines in. You can if you want.